everyone, this is Sally McFadden with the Polka Dot Life. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. Both of the spring mini catalog and the Sale-A-Bration brochure are now live, and we can play with some of those products. We can open the pages, all those fun and exciting things. Today I want to play with the adorable owl stamp set. That is a Sale-A-Bration item that is free when you purchase $50 off of my website. There are also a few little details we need to kind of go over. That mini catalog, instead of being good till June like it usually is, now it ends at the end of April. And we no longer are going to be having Sale-A-Bration 2 times per year. I know many of you save up to purchase your prepaid paper pumpkin codes during that time, and we had been kind of splitting those into 2 to coordinate with our 2 celebrations that we had in the past. But now we are back to only doing it once per year, and it's even a shorter period of time. So if there are things that you want, I would suggest getting them sooner rather than later. Of course, there are several different choices, but I just wanted to start here. It just kind of spoke to me, and I wanted to just hop in and play with those. So let's flip the camera down and get started with today's project. Here's that Sale-A-Bration catalog that I was telling you about, and that is just to remind you again that Sale-A-Bration continues from January 5th until February 28th, or while supplies last, of these items. And what that is when you purchase products before shipping and tax in increments of $50, then that qualifies you for Sale-A-Bration items. Now, most are $50 range gifts. Some are $100. And if you open that catalog to page 4, you will see the adorable owl stamp set. And that's what I want to play with today. I also want to go to the back of the catalog, and I want to point out the best deal that we have in this catalog. And during Sale-A-Bration, it is the best time to join the Stampin' Up! Family. The large part of our demonstrator or our Stampin' Up! Family, they're demonstrators on paper, but they don't hold classes, do videos, any of those things. They are happy discount shoppers. They are fine with you coming in and getting a kit for you to use in your home. That opens up all the benefits that demonstrators have. Early product release, information that gets you onto our demonstrator website where you can look at inventory status and all sorts of things and see what's coming up, but it doesn't really commit you to anything. If you sign up now, I believe you'll have till the end of June before you have to place a qualifying order. And I can answer any questions that you might have. If you're interested, just send me an email at sally@thepolkadotlife.com, and I will get back to you about that. But this time, during Sale-A-Bration, we have 3 different options. And the first one includes this mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in boho blue. And if you know, when our annual catalog changes, we get new in colors. This is a little sneak peek for you. We already know that this will be one of our new in colors. So for this first option, you can pay $129 and get this mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and your choice of $175 worth of product. Our normal price for a starter kit is $99 plus tax, no shipping. And that there is no shipping on any of these options, but there is tax. We can't control that. So you're only paying $30 more for this boho blue mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. They are normally retailing at $63. So you're only paying $30 for that additional, from the 99 to the $129. And then you still get to pick $175 worth of products that you get to pick. It's not a predetermined kit. So that is a great thing. And I will go over this again in a future video and maybe lay out some things that I would choose for my starter kit. The other option is if you do not love the blue, you can get it in the white for the same price. And then option 3, of course, is the regular $99 price tag plus, but you get that additional $50 worth of product, the $175. So just wanted to put that in your mind. If you have any questions at all, just please reach out to me. I went ahead and used Memento black ink to stamp my owl on this square, or rectangle rather, of basic white thick cardstock. I like to use the thick cardstock when I'm working with my Stampin' Blend alcohol markers. So if you use alcohol markers, you need a water-based ink, and that's what the Memento is. I just like to have mine sit there for a little bit and dry really well before I go into it. So that's just my personal preference. I tend to live in a climate with a lot of humidity, and so that works well for me. You might not find that it's needed. So I want to begin, and I am going to take my light crumb cake, and I needed some birthday cards, and that's where most of my inspiration came from this time. And so I am just going to go with a light hand, and I'm going to try to stay back off those lines as much as I can, because where it tends to bleed if you get way over that line and then you end up where you don't want it to be. I'd rather go back in and put a little bit extra, and we definitely want his eyes to be nice and white. So just kind of take that with a grain of salt. Won't really matter on the fur end from this inner part because we're going to use a darker brown. I decided I've done some in gray, I've done some in browns, just different various ways. Of course, if you are a person that needs your art to represent 100% accuracy, you could Google owls and come up with some great ideas of how you might like to color them. And we're going to go down here and put this color on his little tummy. I think that he is just super cute. In practice, I did take a sheet of paper and just stamped a bunch of owls and did different coloring on them to find out what it was, what combinations I liked, which ones I really didn't like. So now we're going to take the dark soft suede, and we're going to come in and color his ears and across this top of his forehead. Now our card today probably is geared more for a female, but to fix that, you just change your colors of designer series paper and you're good to go. And I have some examples of ones that would be fitting for both males and females. But I think with a card, you're not really limited. If you have a male that enjoys flowers, they might enjoy today's cards, or the one that we're making rather. Like I say, I have lots of examples, so make sure that you stick around. And you know, when you're working with your alcohol markers or anything else, turn your work so that it works for you. And you kind of, with the alcohol markers, someone told me once, I don't know how scientific this is, but it's kind of going to, if it's going to bleed out, it's going to bleed in the direction that you are pushing that ink. So just kind of keep that in mind. But like I say, if you use a light touch, I think that you will most often always be happy. And I just kind of want to go over this little part right along the top of that little light part there and make it a little bit darker. just found that that's kind of what I like. It's all trial and error. You can blend these colors. You can build this color. It's really just all what you like. Let's just go ahead and give this another coat too. And see, I kind of got off course there a little bit, but it doesn't really bother me. But we can always come in with that light color and kind of push that back out. And it maybe even just might blend that enough to, it looks like it has a little shadow under there. Now here we also have our color lifter, which we could have gone in to use as well. And I see just one little white place that kind of bothers me. There we go. I have the light pool party, and we're going to color in the eyes. I love the eyes on this. This little white circle there is just what makes these eyes pop. And I love that. Let's take our dark pale papaya. Now you could also use like Calypso coral or yellow for his feet, or maybe even brown. I don't really know what they're supposed to be. We're just going what I think looks good. So see how super cute that is. And then I am going to continue up here with the hat and color in that. And these stripes. We could leave that white, but I think I'm going to come in with the light pale papaya and give this a little, and we could also use Calypso coral for our card today. That would work well too. So here we have our little owl. And again, there's a little tiny white space that I just didn't get down into because I was being cautious. There. Now, I like that so much better. Let me move these off to the side and bring in our die. I am going to be using one of our tags, and you could use whatever tag die you have. Okay, let's bring our mini in and sit this on here. And you know, I am just going to use this whole plate to kind of get this straightened the way I want and lift it up. I should have brought some tape. You know what? This isn't great, but this is what I have. I prefer to use the Post-it tape, but I don't have that here in my filming area. And I will use some painter's tape. And it's off to the side, so it shouldn't stick too bad. I love this mini. I did not think that I would, but I do. It just is really nice to keep on the desk where I do most of my crafting. And it's just lightweight, and it's not as hard to turn. And there are several of our dies, and there are some embossing folders that work with it as well. So now we can just pop out our little owl tag. I think he's so cute. So since that left a little shadow, I just put a little bit more of that light over here on this side under the wing, and so it just looks like a little shading. And today's card is a fun fold card, and let's bring in this piece. Now all the measurements will be over at my blog, thepolkadotlife.com, and we're going to fold this small fold back, and then this other one just folds in the middle. To begin, I have 2 pieces of Calypso coral cardstock, and I am actually going to start with the back and use my liquid adhesive, my green glue. Sorry if that shook just for a minute. I had to shake my bottle up. When your bottle is getting low, you can tap it on a hard surface too, And that will definitely bring down some glue for you and help you get the most out of your glue bottle. And so you just want to center this in the middle, and then everything will just build from there. Super, super fun. And then this, you want to be sure and only put glue on this portion of the flap. And you do want to use a strong adhesive for this, just because it is the working mechanism for your card. And then you lay this right on top of there. And that liquid glue is nice because it will just, once you tap it, it kind of will slide right into place. Originally, I did this card, and you'll see my example, that I used a different, it's same card, but I decorated it a little bit different. I just decided I wanted to try another way. So I have my adhesive on my designer series paper, and then I have a little layer. And this designer series paper is also a Sale-A-Bration item. It's called Dandy Designs, and it is free with a $100 purchase. But y'all, this is a very large paper pack, and it is really, really nice. You're going to see several projects from myself, other demonstrators, using all different prints from this paper. There are 48 sheets in that pack, and they are 12 by 12. I am going to take this layer then. I just decided on this one, I wanted some more layers and done a little bit differently. So you'll get to see the other card soon. And I just thought that that was just a happy, happy paper to use on this. I decided that I wanted something to kind of ground my design. So I did a Calypso coral circle, and then I used the Hive embossing folder, and I'm just trying to decide which way I want that to go on this vellum. Now, you remember that when we use vellum, we have to be very, very careful about where we use adhesive. So I am just going to put that right up the center and put this on here. I could have also used my silicone craft sheet and put out some glue and used a sponge to kind of sponge it all over. If you do it, whatever you do, if you do it all over, then you probably wouldn't see it. But I just decided that I was just going to do it this way for now. And I think that I'm not going to put dimensionals under this part. We'll just put it under our tag. Remember to keep your glue going up and down so that our tag can cover it. This is not a hard card by any means. It's just a little fun fold that I thought y'all might enjoy. So let's get some dimensionals. Just don't peel the backs off yet. We have a little bit of decorative work to do. I like a lot of dimensionals. No saggy middles for me. And then I have some pale papaya ribbon, and I think that it's so pretty. I also have some white twine. And let's just go ahead and take a length. I don't like that it's bent at the top from the way I had it stored, but I have to tape my tape, or I have to use some tape and adhere this. If I keep all of my ribbons in a clear container, but if I forget and leave it out, one of my cats will seek out an unprotected spool of ribbon like a ninja. It's just bad. So I have to take some little extra steps to keep my supplies safe. So we're going to make sure those are pulled up nicely and not like super twisted, that kind of thing, especially down here at the bottom. And it's a small hole, so it does kind of twist, but not really twist. And let's take some twine, and I am just guessing at amounts. I prefer to have more than I need to. I never ever usually go through Well, white twine I do, linen thread I do. It kind of takes a while. The other colors, it does take me a little bit longer to use those. I need to be better at using those. We're just going to tie a little bow here at the top of our tag. My hands and fingers the skin is so dry this winter, and I don't even live in a cold climate anymore. I used to. So probably a lot of you, especially if you're in the northern parts of the United States or different places around the world in the northern hemisphere, it is probably that time of year for you. Like that, that's fun. Just kind of work with it a little bit. Pull it to kind of get it the way you want. Try to get this where my little tails are going downward for the white and up for my ribbon. And these are my ribbon scissors. I keep a little ribbon tied to them. It does matter. Don't be cutting all gluey and nasty things with your ribbon scissors or you'll cry big tears. Now, if I come back and this is just still not laying the way I like it, I will take a glue dot and put under here and get that adhered down a little bit more to my liking. And I don't have my take your pick tool, which is what I usually use to take off my backings. So we're just going to do the good old fingernail method. And since I'm putting this on this embossed piece, especially, and I want to be able to wiggle it around, see where I like it. If you just kill the tack with enough glue to put it on there, that is a good tool to use. So let's just put that on. And I'll probably have to cut that ribbon down a lot. But I think it's super, super fun. Now I do want to open this while I think about it and see. Now you can see what kind of a fun fold this is. Isn't that cute? I could stamp an inside greeting, whatever. I could do some stamping. I decided for this one, I'm just going to leave my sentiment on the front. I'm going to use one of the sentiments from my set. But I just wanted to put this little, and this is different from my original also, just decided I want to put that little bit of designer series paper. I had some left, so I just decided to put that in there. I have our It's Your Day stamp and our Memento black ink and this strip of Mango Melody. I'm going to pull this back just so I can see and you don't have to look at my hair. It's your day. I love that. And most of my cards do have that sentiment because I needed birthday cards. And let's bring in our regular snips. And this is all just a guesstimate. I'm going to snip that here. Might actually even take a little bit off of this end. And I'm going to bring in our Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. Now, when you have a little piece like that, I sometimes need to use a little bit of a shim. And let's use this little end to kind of put it up in here. And this is like our other Pick-a-Punch in the series, but this just kind of gives it a little ticket looking end, which is kind of fun. And there are larger scallops and then smaller ones. And let's flip this over and put just one dimensional on that outside edge. And since I have to put my glue on this side anyway, we're just going to put a little bit on that dimensional too. And we're just going to bring it over here. And you know what? That dimensional isn't even going to catch because this is built up on other layers. And I don't think it's going to matter. I'm just going to let it dry. And if I feel that it needs some more substantial backing under there, I can just slide another dimensional or mini dimensional under there. But I just thought that this was so fun. It was a cute and happy little fold, and I thought that it's good for all different kinds of occasions. I don't like this bow. It's bothering me. So let's just redo it. I'm going to put a knot in it and see if that helps this kind of land a little bit straighter. Sometimes I find that that helps. And let's make our tails a little longer and our loops a little shorter. I like that a lot better. There, that hangs down much nicer. And then let's just snip this. It doesn't have to be the whole way down to the top of your card. If you like to have more ribbon showing, it's not gonna keep it from fitting into an envelope or anything. So, especially this ribbon is really nice, thin, sheer ribbon. If it was really a big, thick one, then yes, I probably would. But you could add some gems. If you have, maybe if this card is for a little girl, you could just add some rhinestones in for the centers of these flowers. That would be really, really cute. On my envelope, I stamped one of the other adorable owls. And I just took some more of that designer series paper and covered my flap. If you haven't done that, cut a piece that's 6 inches wide, and I use 2 3/4. I think you can get by with 2 1/2. If you are just starting, use 2 3/4 till you get used to it. You just put glue on your flap and slide it up here and then cut around the edge of your flap. And that's what decorates that. And it looks really, really cute. Let me move this over and bring in the other card that I have done. This is where I started. And I decided just to let the designer series paper be the star here. I used one of our stitch rectangle dies to do this. I didn't do that second layer of cardstock. I just thought with the white, it needed an extra color in there to pop it. I used some black matte dots. I also used It's Your Day and that same Pick-a-Punch. And I popped him up with dimensionals as well. And then I used the Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays. I think that is from the Charming Sentiments set. And then I did my designer series paper a little thicker and wider, and I only glued it to this center section, and it's just kind of hanging loose on that other one. We have a new background stamp, and I used this. That's what this spot is. I can't think of what it's called, but if you search background stamps, under my shop tab, you'll be able to find that. And I embossed with white embossing powder on black cardstock. Hoot, hoot, you're so cute. And this is, again, that flying owl. And this is some new balmy blue ribbon. We have had this ribbon in the past in some different colors, and it is just a dream to work with. It's really, really nice. And this is just a straightforward card, but I just wanted to show that one to you as well. This is more of that Dandy Designs paper and that same balmy blue ribbon that was just on the other card. It's hard to see, it's right here. I went ahead and used that on my belly band to kind of decorate it. And this is just another cute fun fold. Maybe we'll do this on another day. And this is a little bookbinding card. I used the Fresh Freesia ribbon and adhere this around before you glue down this little bookbinding part. And here is just another little owl. And I did emboss this with some black embossing powder and use some more of those black matte dots. And then just have a little strip of that inside. I really like this paper. It's just, it's going to be good for a lot of our cards. And it's really, really, it's just nice paper. I would personally, that would be my #1 pick of the Sale-A-Bration catalog. Probably even before the owls. I do love the owls, but I just love that paper so, so much. And so here you have one nice little crop of adorable owl cards. And I do think that they are adorable. Thank you so much for taking some time to spend with me today. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.